Hello everyone and welcome to this series on the Tkinter package in Python. Tkinter is a GUI or graphic user interface package that's built in to Python, and it enables us or the user to see a graphic user interface, and then we're going to program behind it. Now Python has a lot of graphic user interface frameworks, but Tkinter is the only framework that's actually built into the standard library. So with Tkinter, it has several strengths. It's cross-platform, so the same code works on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, etc., which is great. And visual elements here, what we see, they all get rendered in whatever operating system you use, so they might look slightly different on different computers. All right. Tkinter is the basic package that most people learn. However, when you see it, you're going to think, well, it doesn't look amazing because it looks quite old and outdated. Okay, but it does exactly what we need it to do. As long as we can use the objects, that's all that matters. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a Visual Studio program. We're going to get the Tkinter packages imported, and then we're going to give it a go with a nice simple program in this video, just to get you warmed up and started with Tkinter. So what we're going to do is get our program open. So I've got a nice simple program, and the first thing I'm going to write in there is import, because we have to import the packages. So we import Tkinter as TK. So I've just got a pointer called TK to Tkinter, or Tkinter. People say different things when they're saying this. Tkinter, Kinter. All we're going to do now, so once we've imported our packages, you'll see it turn purple because it's actually imported the class of Tkinter. And I've got a window, and I normally use window because it just helps us keep track, because we think of this as the window, the graphic user window that you see. Now what students commonly do is they use a lowercase t here. That's not what you need. Uppercase T. So TK, which is the pointer, dot, so what do you want access to? And I want access to the TK package there. After you've done that, we're going to create something onto the screen. So let's create a greeting. And we're going to say greeting is assigned a TK label. Okay. Now TK, as soon as you get access to the package, you notice when I put a full stop, I get access to all the methods inside here. And you might notice some of these, you might be able to, I don't know what half of these do, to be honest, but the ones that I do use quite a lot, you've got images there, list box, menu, message box, what? All of these, there's loads of them. They're all built in. So that's all pre-written code that you can just use. Now, what TK label is, it has a uppercase. It's what we call a widget. And we have lots of widgets, and probably the widgets that you'll come across are things like TK labels, TK buttons, which is just a button, TK entry, which is an input box of some kind. So you're single line of text, you can enter stuff. You can have a text as well, so TK text, which is a text entry, and that allows multiple line entries. And then you've got something called a frame as well. And a frame is like a group object where you can group different widgets together on the screen. So that's great. So we've done that now. When I open these brackets, label is expecting some parameters. So you've got parameters like what text do you want it to display? I want it to display hello students. And that's it. There are lots more which we'll go through. You'll see over these series of videos all the different parameters that we use. Now, when you've written the label to the greeting variable, we need to use something called pack. And that pushes it onto the screen. So greeting.pack packs it onto the window that we've created. And we need, if you run it now, nothing will happen. We need the main loop. So we need to do this at the end of all our Tkinter code, and that keeps the window open. Let's run this and see what happens. And there we go. So you can see here. Oh, there we go. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So it pads down to its default size, so it'll move the window down to the size of the text on the screen, and you'll see TK there, and that's the little feather, which is the icon for Tkinter. And then I've got hello students, and we can change all this stuff later on. Okay, but there is a simple label in there, and it expands to whatever we need. There you go. And that's our first video all done there. So let's just break this down for a second. So remember the steps because you're going to need these. So first, import the package. Then we're going to create the window for us to look at. Then we're going to put whatever objects we need. So all the widgets. Widgets gets created and then we just pack them to the screen. And finally, keep the screen visible. And that's it. There are steps. Now, if I was to ask you now to add a button, you would take this line of code here and you would say tk.button and pass it some parameters in there. Same with input boxes, etc. And that's all we're going to do over these series of videos. We're going to learn what this pack method is, look at that a bit more, and also we're going to learn about the grid system. So give that a go, have a practice, and see what you get to. I'll see you in the next video.